My life story like Black Rob drinking OE. That brolic shit broken down like Matt Hardy. See through these eyes of people my mind see. It's fucked up, ain't it? No need to remind me, but let me get to it. The stupid shit I was doing left other men dead of their lives is just ruined. From ODs to stick-ups going wrong, I stay.
What up, Corner Crew? We are Culture Corner Wrestling. I am Brad Bailey. He is Shaw Elemental. We are back. How is everyone tonight? Shaw, my friend, how are you?
I'm wonderful. Just been loving all this wrestling that's been going on lately. It's been crazy.
I know, a lot of surprises in the past week and a half, 10 days or so. Let's just jump right into it. We got to give a shout out to Swerve Strickland, man. Hats off to him. You know, he did it, and I think that's one of the best moves that AEW has made in a very long time. So shout out to Tony Khan for making a smart play for once. Big ups to him. What are your thoughts on the win?
I think it's great. It definitely adds credibility to him beating somebody like Samoa Joe. I think it's right that Samoa Joe was the champ considering everything that happened at All In. I think that, he definitely deserves it just for everything they had to deal with backstage and whatnot, getting through that. And now that we're moving past it, Swerve was just like we were saying before. I mean, we've been saying for months that he was like the hottest thing going. And they need to get it on him ASAP. I'm definitely with that. And it's intriguing too because of all the different matchups you can see now with him, because he can kind of go heel or face. Right now, he kind of has like that walking the razor's edge kind of thing going on right now, where he can kind of straddle the line and kind of be both at the same time, kind of like a Stone Cold used to do. Not saying he's like that over or anything, but like that type of character where there's no defining,
I think
he can basically go against heels and baby faces either way, and it's going to work. So I think it's great. I understand that AEW needed some good feelings, especially coming off all the negativity recently. I think they did a really good job with this pay-per-view, turning a lot of the talk back towards the positive. So that's good. I think it was overall the whole pay-per-view and the whole night was good for them, and it kind of gets them pointed in the right direction. And based on what a few of the people were saying too, they're just really trying to put this in the passive forward. But Swerve specifically, I thought that was great. And then the Ospreay Bryan Danielson match looked amazing. So good overall pay-per-view from what I was saying.
Yeah, there was. I didn't see the pay-per-view itself, but I caught up today, and what I watched, there was a lot of good matches, and it's so funny how they can be so directionless for so many weeks in a row, and then put on a pay-per-view like this. It's like so wild, the disparity and their quality of content that they put out. But yeah, shout out to Swerve, man. He definitely deserves it. I mean, WWE, I'm sure they're kicking themselves in the ass right now for getting rid of him because they didn't see the potential that he had, but he's in a good place. There was a lot of moves this week. But let's stick with this pay-per-view, man. The only match that I didn't agree with was the Bucks winning. I think FTR should have went over, but I get why they put it on the Bucks to try to get that heat.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a long series of matches, though. Like we're going to end up seeing that they're going to have like 8 or 9, 10, plus matches in the end. So I'm okay with it, I guess. And it was a decent way to bring Jack Perry back, considering we all knew he was coming back. So it'll be interesting. I personally, as always, not really a fan of the Bucks. Obviously, we weren't a fan of them trying to play the footage off like it was part of the storyline with FTR. But whatever the case, it's over now. So hopefully, we'll move past that crap. And then, but I see them having many more matches back and forth. So it'll go back and forth. And, FTR will probably get the next one and vice versa. So it should be interesting.
Right. Yeah, we'll see how long that'll last, though, and how much can you beat a dead horse at some point. We've seen it a million times over and over. I mean, you could do a best of 7 series. They're actually known for doing that sort of thing. They love their best of 7 series. So,
Yeah.
well,
It's
you
kinda
said the Osprey Danielson match. That was probably match of the night. I watched that one. That was amazing. Like those two
yeah,
guys
yeah.
kill it every single time. So
Yeah, that was amazing
Osprey, that
how
we're
they played
lucky
it
that
off
we
at the
get to
end.
see him.
Yeah, and I
Mm.
don't know,
So,
in WWE, you'd probably get a little more watered down version of him if he had gone there. So I'm happy with him going to AEW. Plus, I like seeing more of a balance between the two companies as far as the talent roster is concerned. Because if you have one that's just completely
right.
loaded, you know that like not everybody's going to get the opportunities that they probably deserve. So it's really good. And Osprey is probably like match wise is probably the best wrestler in the world. I think so, just based on what I see with my eyes. Um, he'll probably have to cut down on a lot of the high flying stuff as he gets older, but his timing and just everything is just perfect. I mean, the guy's amazing in the ring, and he's getting better on the mic too. So I'm really excited to see what happens with him
Right.
moving forward. And I'm hoping that this is going to be like a trilogy of matches too. And the way they're kind of spinning it seems like it might end up being that, which is going to be pretty cool. So I'm really looking forward to part 2 and 3 of that.
Yeah, definitely. And he's still young too. So he's got a
Yeah,
lot of time ahead of him. A lot of time ahead of
yeah,
And
and it's
Danielson's on his way out. We know that. So what a way to end it, you know?
yeah, and he's been getting all those matches in too with the younger guys, the ones that he should be anyway. So yeah, it's definitely a great way to end it for Danielson on the way out. I mean, it would be to have all-time matches with him right at the end of his career. I mean, I don't know what better way you could go out, and especially for somebody like him that's really about like the wrestling aspect of it. I think that's like kind of in his mind the way he would like to go out, rather than be involved in some corny storyline type of
Exactly.
thing. It could have happened if he was like dealing with like a Vince type of booker, So that's the one thing about Tony Khan. At least he's going to treat the people with respect. The
Oh, I'm
characters
sure.
usually.
I'm sure.
It's just they don't always get the opportunity to be on TV and things like that because the roster is so big. But it's looking positive moving forward on both ends.
Hey, we'll see what it definitely is. So, I mean, the only way
Yeah,
they can go ratings were in the tank for
yeah. The
quite a
ratings.
bit, but hopefully they can really rebound and start doing some things there because they have so much talent on that roster and they have so much TV time to fill too. It's like, between Ring of Honor and between all 3 shows they have on network and all the YouTube series, whatever they got going on with streaming, it's they have a lot of time, big roster. They just need to use them the right way. But let's move on to the other company and talk Bloodline because you kind of called that shit, man. You called it right as we were talking about it the last time on the show. You said Tama Tonga is going to come out and be his dude. And yep, right on point.
Well, yeah, I'm liking being correct about this one. I'm liking the idea of a Bloodline Civil War storyline. And they'll actually end up getting Roman to be cheered authentically because of this in the end. Because he's going to be away for a while.
Definitely.
Solo's going to be running wild all over everything, going to be calling all the shots, and he's going to be acting like, he's going to be the John Gotti to the old style mob boss that like Roman Reigns was. I mean, he's going to be more
Right.
flashy, more in your face, more like, violent, all that. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then just seeing like how things fall. Is it going to be like the Usos and Roman versus say Solo, Tama Tonga, and then hopefully Jacob Fatu, who should be coming in soon? I don't see how they could not use him in this storyline. I think you put
It
them
should
three
be.
together as like the bad faction of the Bloodline storyline. That would be crazy. Like, give me that. That would be dope.
That's
And then
probably the
maybe,
direction they're going.
yeah, and then have the Rock take a side, and then that can set up some stuff with Roman or whatever.
Right.
There's many
Well,
things they can do
they're
right
going to
now.
look to do Rock. They definitely want to do Rock Roman next WrestleMania. That's going to
Yeah,
happen.
well,
They have to work
I,
that out. They have to
It
work it out
seems like
somehow.
Brock Cody is actually a little bit hotter of an option right now. I
Yeah,
actually
but they're
think that'll
saying
probably
that could
happen
even
first.
be earlier. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
saying that could be like SummerSlam. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
So
true.
I mean, yeah, they can go in so many directions, but they want Rock Roman for WrestleMania for sure, for sure. So
It
that's
kind
the
of
best
depends
way
on
to
Rock's
do it.
schedule.
Carry the bloodline story. The only thing I don't like about what they're doing is I think they kind of miscast Tama Tonga in his role. He shouldn't be the enforcer. You know what I mean? That Jacob Fatu should have been brought out first as the enforcer, and then bring in Tama Tonga in another way because he's more slick and more, he can be like the architect. You can do some shit
Well,
like that.
I feel like they're both going to be the enforcers, really, and Solo's going to be like he's going to play that old Roman role, kind of in a way, where he'll just be the boss, and then once in a while he'll have to come in, Simone spike somebody, and that'll be that. But right now it's what? So you
Hopefully
can think,
they give him some wins.
well, what if it's like, say, it ends up being Roman, the Usos, and Sami Zayn versus The Rock, Solo, Tama Tonga, and Jacob Fatu or something. Like, it could go. There's so many different ways it could go right now. It's crazy, but I think it's gonna be dope. I like what they've done so far. Not just because I called it, but I just thought when I was thinking about it, I'm like, well, if these were the people, what would be the best way to do it? And then, like, usually if that's your thinking, I mean, you're gonna do the right thing. I think. Anyway. If I was a booker, that's the way I would look at it. And then once in a while, you obviously want to have a swerve or like some sort of big surprise. But
But they wanted to keep it going, and if Roman's going to take some time off, that's the only way to keep it going.
yeah.
Because it just would have fell to pieces by then. But how do you bring back Jimmy and Jay together? Now you got all these different things. Like I'm sure with the draft coming up, Jimmy and Jay are going to be drafted to the same show. They have to be so they can come back together somehow. So
Yeah, possibly. I mean, that's seems to be the logical thing to do, but who knows?
But
You know what I
Paul
mean?
Heyman is like the MVP right now because he's killing it. Paul's killing it.
Yeah, no, he's definitely his reactions to everything that's going on around him are hilarious. He's like,
Yeah, but
and he starts shaking, and the neck starts
he does it
jiggling.
perfect.
Yeah, it's great.
He does
Like
that
the
shit
look on
perfect.
his face.
I'm telling you.
And this dude took his phone and stuff.
Dude, it's great. It's great. They're doing so well. It's like such a different company than from a year ago. About a year and a half ago. It's so crazy how such a turn can be made. And with all how you see all the different sponsors and all that crazy shit, Vince would have never allowed anything like that. Like something on the mat that didn't say WWE, and how the post changed with different sponsors, like a friggin' billboard. It's kind of crazy. They turned into NASCAR pretty much.
Well, they basically took the UFC model of doing things and applied it to the WWE system. Kept everything that they needed to keep a certain way because it's professional wrestling, but it definitely seems like they're thinking about all these extra, revenue sources that they can get just by simply throwing a Prime label on a mat, or like you said, putting something on the post, or like how AEW has done it with certain things they've sponsored, putting it like on the mat, or on the barricade or stuff like that. Like there's all kinds of things. So it's like it's smart. Sometimes it's annoying when you're sick of seeing something.
Yeah, they can overdo it for sure.
Yeah,
They overdo it on Michael Cole, man. He overdoes it. He's a hard sell.
Yeah, but he'll convince you.
Yeah. Hey, that's his job. So he does it well, and he's been doing it for a long time. But Cody Rhodes, let's talk about Cody, because some people are already hating his championship run, and he hasn't even done anything yet. What are your thoughts?
He's had like a match or two.
Right. People are like,
what are we talking about here, people? Don't insult my intelligence by trying to talk to me like that. And you shouldn't be insulting your own intelligence by showing people how dumb you are to even bring up something as worthless to speak of such early in somebody's reign. I wouldn't. If somebody in the right mind wouldn't say that like 6 months into Jinder Mahal's reign. Never mind, like 2 weeks into Cody's reign. Like, get out of here. What are you talking about? Like, come on.
Right. You see everybody talking about, oh, AJ should beat him and all this. AJ should finish his story and take it from fucking his father because he fought his father and all. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, why would you do that's so dumb? Such a dumb move. Cody's their face for a good couple of years at least.
Yeah, you have AJ face him because AJ is AJ Styles, and that helps build Cody as a champion by getting wins over people like him. I'm sure we'll see him up against Randy at some point. You know, that's how you build a champion and their reputation, not by having them like have squash matches against, you know, Dick Herbert, the local guy in the, you know, the local gymnasium. Like what? Like,
Yeah, wrestling fans, man. Some of them are wild. Some of them are crazy. They just want to talk just to talk. And they talk crazy and it gets views, and that's the thing, you know, that's what they're looking for. And it happens. So we're talking about it right now.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Man. That's absurd to me. Like, I look at things like that. Like,
he'll be a champion for at least a year, at least. I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unless he gets hurt, you know. And speaking of getting hurt in championships, our girl Rhea Ripley. That's some sad shit, man. Sad shit that she had to give up her championship. But hopefully she'll be coming back stronger. I know Marcus was upset. Marcus was very upset. He was mad about that shit. But you know,
well, at least they have storyline though.
Yeah, they have a built-in storyline with Liv. And they should try to elevate. They should try to elevate her as it goes on, because they shouldn't just halt the brakes on it. I don't think they will, but who knows?
I mean, honestly, I would have her win this battle royal coming up. Have Liv win the battle royal, and pretty much like reign till Rhea's back, and have her like be a very strong heel champion. You know, up until then, and then that's something that there's your storyline right there to continue it on. She comes back now. Liv is like what Rhea was when she left, basically, and then boom. Now when she wins, people love it. That's just me. I'm just a guy on the internet. I don't know anything.
Yep, you probably have to build a faction around her. You'd have to build a faction around her to validate all the wins. You know what I mean? You definitely need a faction to validate why she wins, because she's so tiny compared to some of the other girls. So you can't make her like a dominant in-ring champion. She has to be the heel that has other people help her win every single match.
The female Twin Towers, Tamina and Nia Jax. Let them be your heaters.
Be like making a female bloodline.
I mean, not exactly, but
with Liv Morgan as the head of the table, that'd be crazy. That'd be stupid. But what are the rumblings about Bo Dallas coming back? That's going to be dope. I think if they bring Bo Dallas, well, he's not going to be Bo Dallas. I think it will be Bo Wyatt or some shit. But I don't know what they're going to call him. But I don't know if he'll go by Uncle Howdy. I hope not. I hope they don't go with that name, because that's kind of lame.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what they call him.
I think it's going to be a decent storyline if they do it right. Yeah, hopefully they do it right and they do Bray justice. And I'm sure he had the story already mapped out for them before he passed. So they'll probably be just going seamlessly into that and bring back what's his name, Rowan, and Big Boy Strowman's coming back soon from his injury. Alexa Bliss should be back soon. They're all coming back around the same time. So bring them all back, start the Y at 6, and have them just do whatever. Where would they be though? Would they be on SmackDown or would they be on Raw?
Uh, I would put them opposite of wherever Judgment Day is. And the rumors, well, not rumors, but Eric Rowan actually canceled a bunch of bookings because he couldn't make them. So it sounds like he's definitely coming back. Definitely, we know that Bo Dallas is still there, and they are apparently trying to do this thing. So that's 2 of them. Alexa Bliss makes 3. Who else did you mention?
Strowman's 4.
Okay, yep, 4. I know
So
Matt
there's
Hardy
2
showed up last night at TNA Rebellion, but he also said that he's not exclusive to them. So what if Matt Hardy ends up being part of the 6 because of his ties to Bray Wyatt in the past? That would be cool. I just don't know who the 6th person will be. But
they probably have to bring
could be
somebody
cool.
up.
Yeah, they could.
Who
Kind of have to, I would think. Maybe Curtis Axel, bring him back. What's he up to?
you'd have
Sorry, Curtis Hennig.
right. Imagine he came back and he's like 200 pounds heavier or some shit like that. You don't even recognize him. Where's he been? He never. Right. Like, where's he been? He never went on the Indies or anything. He just decided to retire.
Yeah,
He might work backstage. Who the hell knows? They give those dudes jobs doing everything.
I don't know, but he got
selling
cursed with
merch.
names. I don't know why they didn't just let him use his real name.
Makes no sense. Because that's Vince, man. He can't own it. He could, if Vince couldn't own your name, then you weren't getting to use your name. That's just how it was with that dude. Now they would let him use whatever the hell he wanted to. So, like,
imagine you
saying
be God, Sham God, the wrestler, and he'd be like, "You need to change your name." You'd be like, "My name is God, Sham God, and I need to change my name to be a wrestler." Vince would be like, "Yep, because I can't own it. We're gonna call you Allah Ham Allah instead."
And it's mine. You don't get to own it. I'll give you 0.01%. That's what you get. Fucking Vince, man. Vince, they're rumbling about how he wants to start his own company, and I don't think that will happen with all the litigation that he's going through. I think that's just him trying to distract people from what's really going on. Dude, he's in so much shit. It's ridiculous. Some of the names that they've been dropping too that are connected with it, it's a little insane. Even like Stephanie's name's been connected to some shady shit. So I'm surprised they brought her back. But they kind of had to, I guess.
I mean, that just makes me think that whatever she probably just heard about some shit and didn't tell somebody.
Something, called an Uber or some shit like that when she wasn't supposed to.
Who knows?
Right, some dumb.
The fact she was at
shit.
WrestleMania, everything makes me think that there's nothing there.
Right. So, but there's so many names being dropped. It's gonna be wild when it actually if it goes to court, and if there's any type of criminal charge brought against them. You know, Court TV is gonna love that shit. That's gonna be on all day long on Court TV. They love those celebrity trials. But before we wrap this up, anything else you want to add about what's been going on in the wrestling world?
No, I mean, it's just been really dope. Everything's been really good. TNA, AEW, WWE. Well, I guess everything except New Japan. Not that I've been following it really closely, but it really seems like the AEW poaching of their roster has definitely affected the excitement, I guess, around that brand.
Jon Moxley just won their championship.
Right. So that what does that tell you about their top guys? The fact that Jon Moxley and that's not to say anything bad about their top guys, but it just seems like the perception anyway right now is that they are struggling because they've lost a lot of top guys to AEW. But we'll see. Maybe they'll turn. They seem to always turn it around because they've definitely had some times where they got really poached bad. like WWE got him a few years ago when they got like Shinsuke and they took AJ Styles and Finn Balor, and it was like one person after another coming from over to WWE. So they've gone through it before and rallied. So I'm sure they'll be fine. It's just they're pretty much the only company right now that isn't on a hot streak, as far as I know, as far as like the bigger companies.
Yeah, pretty much.
But it's
And
great.
you can see they're trying to force. New Japan's trying to force a couple of guys right now to push them a little bit, and you can see that they're pushing them a little hard, because they need to start making new stars. Because, like you said, they got poached. They took AEW took everybody, so I'm sure there's no open door this coming year. That probably won't happen unless New Japan needs the money.
They're doing it, but we'll see what happens. Who knows? I think they'll be all right. They always rally.
Oh yeah, it's the wrestling world. All the companies bounce back. WWE had 1995.
It kind of feels like it.
That's all anybody's got to remember is 1995 WWE. They were ready to close their doors, like literally ready to bankrupt, and then 2 years later they hit a hot streak and changed everything. So any company can do it. Any company can do it with the right guys. But all right, my dude, let's wrap this up. Let us know, it's shameless self-promotion time. We do it on every show. Let us know what you got going on, what's coming up.
All right, well, we got coming up May 3rd. I got Dastardly Grin 2 coming out. I should say me and Silly Grin, got Dastardly Grin 2 dropping on May 3rd. And then May 4th, as obviously Brad knows, we got the show coming up, Rise of an Empire, presented by the Culture Corner. This going to be dope. Myself, Savage Land, man, I don't even know. Mad people at this show. Not even mad. I can say that. A select, curated few will be there performing, including myself and Savage Land. Everybody's crazy nice that's coming out. So if you're around on the 4th, come through, come see a dope lineup of hip hop. We're gonna tear that bitch down, rap our asses off, etc., etc. You know what I mean? It'll be a great night. Come have a beer with us. We're gonna tear it down. And Brad, I'll let you take it from there.
Oh yeah, like you were saying, Rise of an Empire, May 4th, Starlight, Southbridge, Massachusetts, 39 Hamilton Street. I can't believe I remembered all that. That's fucking amazing. That's the first time I got that all out in one shot. So y'all definitely better come out now. And we may have a couple of special guests in the house. Who knows? Who knows who's gonna be coming through? You know what I'm saying? So y'all definitely need to be coming out. And yeah, Culture Corner Wrestling, man. We out. Peace.
Peace, y'all.